Hey guys, Baddies Going Wild, episode 7, review slash recap. If you're watching me on TikTok, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube. And if you're watching me on YouTube, make sure you follow me on TikTok. Okay, so we start right back off where we left off at the end of episode 6. Erica and Oxy are allowed to fight. The round that they had was very quick. I wouldn't say there was really a winner. Maybe Oxy was connecting a little bit more than Erica, but it was a lot of wild swinging going on. Now, Erica did get Oxy's wig, but that's about it. Rella was in her confessional talking about I was the one who I thought had smoke with Erica, but I guess Oxy took my smoke, and she's a real B for that. No, y'all all followers and y'all all weirdos. So they eventually let Erica and Oxy have a second round. That second round, Oxy definitely tore Erica. But Hurricane M is still in her confessional saying that she's not feeling that Oxy for Erica. She's like, what do this have to do with Oxy, whether she won or not? I don't like Hurricane M. Maybe you can slightly redeem yourself by fighting Oxy. I don't know. I still probably won't like you though. So they trying to break up Erica and Oxy. Erica thinks she got a hold of Oxy here. Whole time she's holding on to the security guard Xavier's hair. So he's like, I'm over here trying to break up the fight and my hair is getting pulled. Like, hello? He probably said, I don't get paid enough for this. But I have heard that the zoo security gets paid very well for what they endure. So Daisy was saying that Oxy need to be fighting Rella. That's who her smoke is really with. Titi was saying no. The people who haven't been getting into the paint need to get in the paint. Janellis already ran her ones. Gloss needs to get in the paint. So I think Titi was trying to say Gloss need to run her ones with Erica, but Gloss need to be worrying about Shay because Shay just dragged her through the dirt. But then Coco decides to say, oh, remember Jadyn? You said you had a hit list. Who on your hit list? You need to handle all of that right now. So Hurricane M immediately was like, I'm on the hit list, right? I'm on the hit list, so fight me. And Jadyn was like, oh, I don't want to fight right now. I don't have on shoes. So Hurricane M was like, take your shoes off. I'll take my shoes off. It's like Jadyn be making too many excuses. When somebody's disrespecting you and keep calling you out, even if you don't want to fight, you need to just get in the paint just because. Win, lose, or draw. And even if it looks like they are picking on you, like it looks like M is picking on you because she is, but let it look like that. So that for the viewers, it's like, okay, Hurricane M is a weirdo, but you don't need to look like a punk. You need to be getting out there. But Jadyn was basically saying in her confessional, she feel like the storyline is stale, which it is. But at the end of the day, like Janelle said, M said if you don't apologize, she's going to keep being on that with you. So if you don't want that every day, you need to just apologize. Otherwise, you need to get out there every day and just let her look crazy. She's not going to win the 50K. So TT's yelling, Jadyn, you need to shut the F up or get in the field. And Hurricane M was like, exactly, keep it. So eventually Jadyn got tired of them talking. She just got quiet and she went over and started putting on her swim cap. So Hurricane M is like, I already beat her ass 3 times. How am I on her hit list? Natalie's still confused on what's going on. So once again, Coco is stepping up, inserting herself, acting like she's the house leader, telling Natalie that Jadyn tried to pop off on her because everybody else moved her bed. No, she tried to pop off on you because you unlocked the doors for the girls who had just moved her bed. So after Jadyn got her swim cap on, Natalie looked at Jadyn and she was like, so is M on your hit list? And she was like, yeah. So she walked up and was just standing there. Natalie was like, okay, she said run it. And it's kind of scary because she real quiet. Like I said, Jadyn was done talking. So Hurricane M runs up on Jadyn. I was actually kind of proud of Jadyn this time. I just wish she would have gotten the feel from the beginning and wasn't copping please talking about she didn't have shoes on and all of that. Because it looked like she actually did a little better this time, in my opinion. It looked like all Hurricane M be doing is pulling hair. That's why Jadyn always puts her swim cap on. So Natalie's still talking about who's hosting the house meetings, trying to get somebody to step up. Daisy stood on the chair and basically was like, let me address my issue with Bahati. So Daisy was doing a lot of ranting and Titi was like, okay, so run your ones with Shorty. Daisy looked at Titi and was like, you ain't got to tell me what I'm going to do because I was going to do it anyway. And Titi was like, well, Bahati sitting there fixing somebody's hair like she don't know she got to run that with you. So Daisy on the chair yelling, talking about after she fight Bahati, Bahati gets no more light from her. She's the only reason Bahati was getting any shine. That's a lie. Everybody pretty much agrees that Bahati is the star of the season. Daisy is also a star on the show and is also entertaining, but she's basically a villain. Bahati has won the hearts of the fans. She's a fan fave. Like I said, it's very similar to DTB and Rolly. DTB is like Bahati. She's a fan fave. She's a troll. Daisy is more of a Rolly. People love to hate you. You're a villain. People might find you entertaining and want to keep seeing you on the show, but not a lot of people just 100% love you and like everything you do. But anyway, Daisy ends up running up on Bahati, and Bahati initially had tried to grab Daisy's wig, but the wig came right off. So after that, Daisy was like, oh, you want to pull my hair? And she started grabbing Bahati's hair because Bahati's wig had also came off. So now she's grabbing at Bahati's wig cap and her braids. She's not letting go. You see the security here is like, let go, Daisy. She's saying no. And the fight ends with Bahati looking like this with like the side of her head gone, and Daisy's walking off with a couple of braids. I would say she pulled out at least 2, but it really looks like it could be like 3 or 4. Once again, like I said, very similar to Rolly and DTB. Rolly also pulled DTB's braids out at the Baddies Midwest reunion. So everybody was in shock. I feel like they was kind of taking it too lightly. Like it didn't really seem like anybody felt that bad for her. Gloss Up was like, I know she feel a lot of wind on the side of her head, and that's why I don't fight bees like Daisy, but I feel bad. It's like you saying you feel bad, but you making a joke. Once again, Coco walking around like she running the house talking about everybody sit down, everybody sit down, everybody sit down, and then gonna say, oh, let Daisy and Bahati run it again. Daisy still talking about she was Bahati, knight in shining armor. Like Bahati said, you did one thing. You helped me when I was getting jumped, and you would have did that for anybody because you're just against jumping in general. We weren't friends at that point. You didn't know me at that point. You didn't do that because you liked me. You did that because you saw somebody getting jumped and you're against jumping, period. Coco talking about they need to get it over with now because I'm not trying to deal with all this drama during my stay. You need to be the first one sent home if they do get a replacement. And then Ming was in her confessional talking about, oh yeah, Daisy dragged the ever-loving F out of Bahati. Like I said, they all thinking it's funny. So Daisy starts talking to Natalie, and she's like, if Bahati was a real B, when Coco and Titi told me that she was talking about me, she should have got on that with Coco and Titi instead of her getting crazy with me. And like I said, I think Bahati would have done that if you had come to her with respect. If Daisy went up to Bahati with respect and they had the conversation that they would have had, they would have realized that Coco and Titi were lying, and they would have been able to get on that with Coco and Titi. Bahati could have beat Coco up, and Daisy could have beat Titi up again. So Bahati just kept saying, get in the paint, get in the paint. Like, she's done talking now because you done ripped her braid out. And Natalie was like, no, just talk, just talk. So Daisy was like, okay, let me talk. I had her back for real. Still talking about how she jumped in the fight for Bahati at the beginning of the season. Shay is in her confessional looking like a totally different person again, talking about, yeah, I understand why Bahati's mad. She got her braids pulled out. Shay is really a transformer. So Bahati was getting mad. She was starting to like throw chairs on the ground and stuff because she's like, why you not letting me get another round with her? Like, why y'all telling me I gotta wait? Y'all let this girl run up on me and scalp me, and now y'all saying we gotta wait to fight? No, now I need that. Even if I'm gonna keep losing, I need that. While I got all this energy and this anger and this rage, I need that right now. So I could take as much of it out on her and I could do the best I can. Because we know Bahati can't really beat Daisy, but if she got enough rage, she could do a little better. She leaked her, right? So Daisy's in her confessional thinking it's funny, talking about Bahati needs to calm down. She gonna have her time to fight me. Don't worry, you gonna get your ass whipped, just not right now. So Bahati's crying, rightfully so. Like, she's crying out of anger at this point. Like, obviously, she's probably really upset that half of her head is gone. She knows she's gonna have to probably shave her head so that all of her hair can grow back the same length. But she's also mad because they're not allowing her to fight. The cameras kept trying to record her. She was knocking the cameras down, like, get those cameras out of my face. This is an embarrassing moment. And I do feel like that was Daisy's whole point. She was embarrassed because her lip got busted by somebody who's really not even the best fighter. So she had to do more than just beat Bahati up. I felt like she needed to do something where she felt like she either gave her a black eye, leaked her as well. It had to be some type of real damage so she could feel like, yeah, I embarrassed you back. So Natalie got Daisy re-explaining the whole situation with her and Bahati to the rest of the girls. And Daisy's imitating Bahati's accent. Natalie found that so funny. All of the girls were laughing. Natalie was like, can you do it again? And Daisy was basically saying it's an eye for an eye. She got my lip, so I got her braid. Like I said, I don't think the two things are equal. I think if she would have busted Bahati's lip back or gave Bahati a black eye, that would have been fine. But pulling out the braid was too much and not equal. So Natalie's like, okay, so M, tell me what's the real issue with you and Jadyn. M is still saying that Jadyn said M tried to fight her mom, and that's a lie. And the whole situation about Jadyn's mom allegedly saying the N-word and her being white, so on and so forth. The same thing we've been hearing for the past 6 episodes. Hurricane M was trying to explain everything that happened with her and Jadyn as if Jadyn was starting it when Hurricane M has been looking for an issue the whole time. For example, she was like, oh, I was in the bikini in the pool looking good, and here you come with a swim cap. That's not what happened. Y'all was all at the pool. Daisy brought up the issue with you and Jadyn. Y'all started going back and forth because y'all don't agree on what happened. You asked Jadyn, did she want to fight? And you was talking crazy, and everybody was like, Jadyn, you can't keep letting her talk to you like that. So she went and got her swim cap because you were bullying her once again. So Hurricane M was basically like, after all of that happened, I got off your ass, but then I hear I'm on your hit list. How am I on your hit list if I already beat you up 3 times? And Jadyn was like, because my arm was hurt. I don't feel like I was able to fight to my full potential, and I still don't feel like you beat my ass. So then Natalie was basically like, once again, my only issue is any teaming up, jumping, ganging up, bullying. I don't really like any of that. And from what I understand, Erica had an issue with Rella, and then she had an issue with Gloss. So I'm just trying to understand why so many people are fighting Erica. And Erica was like, well, I didn't have an issue with anybody. So you would have to ask both of them why they have an issue with me. And Rella is just staring blankly at Erica like, yeah, you're right. You didn't have an issue with me. You didn't. And Erica was like, exactly. So what's the problem? And Rella gonna say, I just wanted my phone. So then you should have been fighting Janellis. Like, if all of this is just about the fact that you wanted your phone, then you should have been fighting Janellis, not fighting the one person who decided to stick up for Janellis. If you really was mad about your phone, then you really should have been fighting Janellis. So this is all over nothing, and I think you're just jealous of Erica. That's why you brought up Chris Brown too, because you probably want to fuck Chris Brown. It's giving weird, Rella. Stop. So Janellis was saying she was glad that Rella and Erica was talking and not fighting, even though she feel like Rella would charge at Erica at any minute. Like I said, for what? And then Natalie was like, I guess it's a little bit more clear, but it's really still not. Like, we still really don't understand what's the issue that Rella has with Erica. So then Natalie asked Janellis where does she stand with Erica, and Janellis was like, at the end of the day, I still F with her and mess with her for standing up for me verbally when it came to the whole phone situation, but I don't feel like she's a fighter, and I wouldn't ask her to fight for me physically, so I don't feel like I need to do that for her, basically. And then Titi gonna say, well, if you don't want to fight, then I don't understand why you was hitting people with shit, Erica. Where I'm from, we don't do that. No, actually, a lot of people do that. Because if somebody told you over and over again they don't want to fight and they didn't have any fights in the house up to that point, maybe they're not really a fighter. Maybe they're not tough. Like Janella said, Erica didn't want her face messed up. So if she kept saying she didn't want to fight and you keep asking for it and you forcing me to fight you, then that is when people bring out weapons. When people are scared, that's when they use weapons. So Titi, it actually makes perfect sense why Erica used the weapon. She did not want to fight. She did not want her face messed up. Rella was begging for a fight. So she said, okay, I'm going to make sure you don't mess up my face. I'm about to knock you with this portable charger. Especially when it seemed like Rella just want to fight Erica for nothing. Like, we can't really figure out the reason. But Titi was like, well, this is supposed to be Baddies going wild. She came here to do a job and I'm not seeing nothing wild from Erica. Okay. Yet I still think more of the fans like Erica than like you. And she's more likely to get the 50K than you are. Even though at this point, I really feel like the only person who deserves to win the 50K and probably will really be in the running and get the most votes for it is Bahati. I hope she gets it. Then Natalie starts asking what is Oxy's issue with Erica. So it was basically Erica versus everybody. Oxy said she didn't like that Erica used the weapon. Natalie said she understood. And Erica was basically like, everybody's been breaking rules in this house, but when I do it, it's a problem. Y'all been sneaking people. Y'all been jumping people. Y'all been touching people's stuff. All these rules that we set at the beginning that we said we wasn't going to do. So then Cupcake decides to involve herself because I feel like she knew here's a time for me to insert myself. And if something pops off between me and Erica, other people are probably going to jump in on my side. So she's like, oh, Erica, you really think it was okay to use a weapon? I saw you wrap that charger around your hand. So you saw her wrap the regular charger cord like this around her hand. What does that have to do with a weapon? The weapon was the portable charger, which, like Erica said, is a brick. So she can't wrap that around her hand. It was already in her hand when she walked up and she didn't put it down. Like, Cupcake really wants a moment and she needs to shut the fuck up and be happy that I'm still referring to her as a she. Okay, John? Because at this point, you need to be happy that everybody you fought so far beat you up. If you put your hands on any other person in this house, it's going up for you. Because at this point, we know you're John. So Natalie tells them this is the last house. She doesn't have another house in her pocket, so they can't get kicked out of this house. They need to behave. You know, they are secluded. They're away from the neighbors. They're in the jungle. So it should be good, but she's just letting them know, like, this is the last house. And Rella basically says she appreciates the girls sticking up for her because in real life, she don't really F with girls like that. But it's nice to see these girls having her back about Erica hitting her with the battery in her head. And like I said, Rella is always contradicting herself because on episode 6, she was saying in her confessional, oh, Daisy, I told you Bahati was weird. I don't not F with girls for no reason. But now in this confessional in episode 7, you saying in real life, you don't really F with bees. So are you a girl's girl or not? Do you have a lot of girlfriends or not? Because it sounds like you don't. So Natalie's like, listen, I told you guys there's no friends in this house. You could get to know each other. You can make bonds, but you never really know what's going to happen. So that's why you got to move smart around here. So Natalie's like, I really feel like it's a lot of y'all that's doing too much, not really standing on business. And I feel like we should bring some replacements in. So she says that she wants Daisy and Titi to be accountable of doing the voting system that they're about to do. So basically saying that those are the two people that she do feel like are standing on business so far. Coco is in her confessional talking about half of y'all bees are not standing on business. What the F is your point of being in the house? What's your point of being in the house? Because you're not standing on business. The only thing you doing is being manipulative and being a puppeteer. You got beat up by Daisy and still walking around with a unhealed eye on episode 7 that happened on episode 1. And you have yet to get your lick back on Daisy. In fact, you're up Daisy's ass. Cupcake said she felt the way in her confessional that Natalie said that Daisy and Titi were the only ones that were standing on business. But then she's going to say, I really don't care because at the end of the day, I don't need validation from nobody. Let's not forget that Cupcake came on the show letting us know that she has a Natalie Nunn tattoo. So you definitely are obsessed with Natalie Nunn. You're a real D-rider. And I'm sure you would have loved that validation from her. And I'm glad she didn't give it to you. So Daisy stands up and she's like, I'm going to say each person's name and everybody's going to raise their hands. And then Titi will count the hands. So these were the final votes. Erica got 7 votes. Jadyn got 5 votes. Bahati got 5 votes. Janellis, Oxy, and Shay got 1 vote each. And the rest of the girls got 0. So I'm going to tell y'all who voted for who. So Daisy got no votes, TT got no votes, Hurricane M got no votes, which I felt like was crazy. I'm like, Jadyn, you should have at least raised your hand to vote her out. Coco got no votes because y'all all too stupid to see that she's playing, y'all. Now, I don't know who did this Baddies Going Wild post. It was from one of the blogs. They actually miscounted because Shay got 4 votes. She got Hurricane M, Janellis, Gloss, and Ming that voted for Shay. Janellis had 1 vote, which was from Shay. Rella had no votes. Oxy got 1 vote, which was from Daisy. Oxy was in her confessional and she was like, I don't understand why Daisy put me in that category. I think she was just trying to get a reaction out of me. Because Daisy really don't got no issue with Oxy. I mean, she did say that she felt like Oxy sneaking Erica was corny, but it's like, who? I don't know. It was kind of random. Cupcake and Gloss both got no votes. Bahati had 5 votes, which was Daisy, Rella, Cupcake, and then I believe it was Titi, and it was either M or Coco. Daisy big ass was kind of blocking the view of some of the girls. Sorry. But Gloss Up stood up for Bahati a little bit, and she was like, I will say one thing. Bahati stands on business. So y'all might not like her, but y'all want to vote her out, and she's not scary. And the whole point of being here is to not be scary, to be wild, to get in the paint. And Bahati always does that. And TT agreed. You know, she was like, Bahati do get in the paint. I'm not going to lie. Jadyn had 5 votes. According to this post, I only see 4. I see TT, M, Coco, and Rella. Ming got no votes, and then Erica got the most votes, 7 votes. TT, M, Rella, Gloss, Jadyn, Ming, and Oxy. And it looked like Shay is low-key holding her hand up too. She got her hand on her head, but she like this. And then Erica going to say in her confessional, well, I'm the one carrying the season, so I don't know why they want to vote me out so bad. Erica, you're not carrying the season, baby. You might have carried a little bit in the last couple of episodes, but that's about it. You was actually pretty irrelevant for the first couple of episodes, not gonna lie. So after the voting is done, Coco talking about, okay, 2 people can go. Like I said, she's doing too much talking for me, acting like she's running the house, and y'all allowing it. So TT gonna try to point to Erica and I think Jadyn, because they had the most votes, and say, well, y'all 2 gonna have to run y'all fade and see who go home. Natalie said, hello, that's not how this works. And Natalie was like, y'all all raising y'all hands for 1, 2, or 3 people. If I'm a viewer, I want to keep them. I want to see more. And basically she ends up telling them, she acts like she's going to bring somebody in. She's like, there's a replacement here. And she has them sit there for a minute waiting for somebody to come in. Nobody comes in. And she's like, oh, I'm just joking. I'm not going to send anybody home. So from there, Natalie basically concludes the house meeting and tells them to go ahead and find their rooms in this new house. Everybody's running around finding their room. Gloss Up and Hurricane M end up sharing a room together again. Hurricane said that Gloss is the only person that she really trusts right now, so they're going to keep rooming together. And there was a room that had 4 beds. It was 4 twin beds. They said that was the master bedroom. And Bahati, Shay, Oxy, and Jadyn got that room. Cupcake found this room. This kind of looked like a master bed to me because it got 1 big bed. But I don't know. But Cupcake was calling Gloss, but Ming ended up coming in the room with her because Gloss went with M, I guess. And like I said, Natalie is gassing their head up, acting like this house is bigger and better when it's clearly not. Cupcake even said in her confessional, I like the other house better. It had a lot of floors. It had a lot of views. She said this house is like we all together on one floor. Everybody could see what everybody's doing. So at first, majority of these girls are dancing in the bathroom. You know, these are all of the girls that are basically against Bahati, Shay, Oxy, and Jadyn. But then they see that those 4 girls have the big room with the 4 beds. So I guess they probably wanted to all room together. So they were sitting there plotting like, oh, should we take this room? Do we want this room? Meanwhile, Coco is in her confessional talking about, oh, I like this house, but I feel like a few of these girls ain't going to be here that long. Yeah, I'm talking about Bahati and Jadyn. So Titi and Coco decide to start going in Shay, Oxy, Jadyn, and Bahati's room, jumping on the beds, flipping their beds over, this, that, and the third. Oxy walks in while they're doing it, and she's just standing there letting it happen. But you so quick to pop off on everybody else about smaller things. You so quick to want to fight Erica because she hit somebody else with a portable charger. But you not doing nothing when Titi and Coco are flipping your beds right in front of your face. Oxy is a picky, choosy, weak-ass bitch too. And Titi said it. She was like, Oxy and them really don't be on shit. If somebody touching my stuff and I see them doing it, I'm getting on that. It's no questions. So we cut to seeing Bahati. She's still upset, crying. And then Natalie's downstairs where they were originally having house meeting. And she's acting like she just realized that Bahati's braid got taken out. So she's talking to Erica like, whose braid is this? And Erica was like, Bahati's. Natalie gonna say, bring it to her. What? You bring it to her. You're the EP. Do your job. And why is Erica even following Natalie around like a little puppy dog anyway? I feel like this is some weird ritual, humiliation ritual that Natalie's trying to do. You know, Natalie's obsessed with Chris Brown. She's always had a crush on Chris Brown, and he said he didn't know who she was. And there's rumors that Erica is messing with Chris Brown. Like, is Natalie trying to live through Erica? What's going on here? Why is she following you around? I'm confused. But anyway, Natalie and Erica go and get Daisy to try to bring her to talk to Bahati. And in her confessionals, Natalie kept saying Bahati's name, but then in person, she just kept referring to her as Australia. So she's telling Daisy, come on, she's upset. She came from so far away. Sit down and talk to her. So Natalie was kind of hugging Bahati, telling her it's going to be okay. Come sit down and talk to Daisy. And Daisy said in her confessional, you know, I do feel bad seeing Bahati cry. I don't feel bad that I pulled her braid out because she still feel like it's an eye for an eye with the lip thing. But she like, I do feel bad seeing her cry. So Daisy was telling Bahati, I don't want you to go home because that's what everybody want to see. And Bahati was like, girl, you pulled my hair and you switched up. I told you I never talked about you. And Daisy was like, well, then that's what you should have said when I approached you with Coco. But like, Daisy, you was doing too much when you approached her with Coco. You was too aggressive. Like, Daisy really thinks she's people's mom. Bahati was like, girl, you put your hand in my face. And Daisy was like, okay, yeah, I did put my hand in your face. And what did you do? You slapped my hand down. Like, why did you have your hand in her face in the first place? Don't try to go over that point. You're not her mom. You were being disrespectful. You were being aggressive and you were doing too much. You want respect, but you don't give it. That's not how life works with everybody. Everybody's not scared of you. So Natalie was asking Daisy if she could give Bahati a hug, and Daisy was like, yeah, I could give her a hug, but not if she gonna hit me. But, you know, I feel like it's over with. She got me, I got her back. We could hug it out, but not if she's gonna hit me. And Erica was like, you know, I see a little bit of compassion for Daisy, and I feel so bad for Bahati, this, that, and the third. Then Daisy tries to tell Bahati, you gave these girls exactly what they wanted. They wanted to see us fall out. They didn't want to see us be friends and be a duo. And Bahati was like, no, you gave them exactly what they wanted. You listened to Coco and Titi instead of listening to me. You listened to two people that you fought at the beginning of the season instead of listening to me, who you was cool with from the beginning of the season, and came at me crazy. Like, Daisy is not taking no accountability, and she's literally being delusional. I don't know how she thought that we was going to see it any other way. So Daisy goes up to Bahati and she's like, I don't want you to feel like this. And she's trying to hug her. And I'm with Bahati, girl. There's no fixing this now. Your lip is going to heal within a couple of days. The lip that I busted. My braids, I'm going to have to shave my head and start all over. It's not the same thing. I'm not making up with you, bitch. So Bahati basically told Daisy, like, girl, I'm not hugging you back. Get off of me. So Daisy was like, okay, fine. And Zeus editors need to get their stuff together. Because for a second right here, it cut back to Natalie and Erica grabbing Daisy to walk and meet Bahati. But then it went back to where it was supposed to be. It was weird. Y'all need to get y'all shit together before y'all release these episodes. But Bahati didn't want to hug Daisy, so she stepped away and she basically turned her back to Bahati because she was talking to Natalie. And when she did that, Bahati took the chance to sneak Daisy. She only hit Daisy a couple of times. She wasn't really able to do nothing with Daisy, unfortunately. So Daisy was like, you could never. She ended up kind of getting Bahati in a headlock, and then the security broke it up. And Daisy was like, Bahati, you can't F with me. So Bahati let Daisy know, I'll never be cool with you again, so you can forget about it. And if y'all don't know, while this season has been airing, Bahati and Daisy have been arguing online consistently. I'm pretty sure they're going to fight again at the reunion because Bahati recently leaked Daisy's phone number and I believe her address. Okay, I just checked so I could verify for y'all. She did leak her number, but she said she has Daisy's address, but she hasn't leaked it because Daisy has kids and she's trying to respect that. But she said if Daisy keeps messing with her, she will go online and leak that as well. So Daisy was like, and my back was turned to you. How you pop on me and you can't whoop me and my back was turned to you? She was like, you hit me once or twice and then you stopped hitting me. If you're going to sneak somebody, you need to keep punching. So then Daisy was like, all right, come on, because I'm done with this shit and you clearly want to keep fighting. So she told Bahati to square up. They start fighting again. Bahati tried to pull Daisy's hair this time and the security was breaking it up and Daisy was like, B, you would never pull my hair out. You would never pull my hair out. And she said in her confessional, Bahati don't have the strength and the anger and the rage within her to really beat the F out of somebody and pull somebody's hair out from the root and from the scalp like that. She said, I pulled her braid out and her reaction wasn't enough. And I really do agree with Daisy. Bahati is really not a fighting street girl. Daisy is. So Daisy is like, I'm built for this. You're not. And Natalie is such a weirdo. She kept saying, oh, okay, Australia, it's enough. It's a lot, Australia. Let it go, Australia. Like, Daisy just ran up on Bahati. Why are you saying, Australia, it's enough? You should be saying, Daisy, that's enough. Because she's the one who just ran up on Bahati, not the other way around. Like, Natalie's a weirdo. She just don't want no smoke with Daisy herself. So Daisy ends up walking off talking about Bahati's not getting no more camera time from her. She's Bahati's storyline. And she was like, you know what? I'm about to have a pool party with the girls. And Bahati's probably not going to be able to get in. She walks in and tells the other girls that Bahati tried to sneak her from behind. And she still couldn't do nothing with her. And Hurricane M was like, hey, Bahati had to get her lick back one way or another for her braid. So it is kind of a good thing that she snuck Daisy so she could get her lick back a little bit. But I'm sure it's Daisy still tore through her ass. And Hurricane M is right because, you know, Bahati got her couple of licks in, but Daisy still whooped her ass. So then we do see all of the girls are going down to the pool and they're having this pool party that is hosted by Daisy. So I guess Bahati was talking about leaving the show and Natalie was like, so you're just going to leave abruptly and fight everybody on your way out? And Bahati was like, girl, I don't give a F. Erica was asking Bahati if she could ever squash it with Daisy. She said no. After her pulling my braid out, there's no going back. And then she started getting emotional and she was just explaining to Natalie over and over again, like, I never talked badly about this girl, and she believed what these other people said. And Natalie was like, that's how stuff goes sometimes. It gets messy in this house. People talk about people spread lies, and bonds get tested. So basically, that is the truth. Daisy and Bahati bond was tested, and Daisy failed the test because she allowed Coco to come in and manipulate shit. So Bahati's still crying, and Natalie's talking about, oh, I feel so bad. But instead of Natalie going and comforting Bahati herself, she told Erica to do it like a weirdo. So Erica listened. She went over there and was hugging Bahati. But I'm just like, Natalie, again, you're an EP. Do your job. You should feel bad. And if you really feel bad, you should be going over there and hugging the girl yourself. So then she's like, oh, where did she pull your hair? What's going on? Let me see it. Can I see it? And Bahati was like, no, like, you're a weirdo. Bahati needs to pop on Natalie for real. We would love you. You would definitely get the 50K. So the episode basically ends there with Bahati looking at Natalie like a weirdo. So on the next episode, which is episode 8, we're going to get the continuation of that. Bahati's going to tell Natalie she's being messy. And y'all really don't got to ask me who I'm voting for. I'm voting for the people that I make most valuable baddie every week on the actual review. We also see that Bahati is going to end up shaving her head. Oxy, Jadyn, and Shay are going to be there for her as moral support. She really looks pretty with the bald head, though. Everybody can't rock that, so that just shows that she's really a pretty girl. Face card is definitely T. I don't think Daisy could do it. From there, we see the girls going to another excursion. This time, they're actually able to do it. It's some sort of water activity, and Daisy is falling all in the water, talking about, get me out, get me out. Then we see the girls on the boat. Somebody goes falling off the boat, and Scotty's out there partying with the girls, so Scotty will be making a guest appearance on the next episode. And Oxy basically says she overheard some of the girls saying she was weak, and she don't understand why her name is being brought up. So I guess she called out Gloss Up, and they're going to end up fighting again. Okay, so for Baddies Gone Wild, Season 1, Episode 7, my most valuable baddies were Bahati, Erica, and Jadyn. My least valuable baddies were Rella, Oxy, Titi, Daisy, Coco, and Cupcake. So that is the end of my Baddies Gone Wild Episode 7 review/recap. I'll see you guys later for Baddies Africa and Baddies Gone Wild Episodes 8. If you're watching me on TikTok, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube. And if you're watching me on YouTube, make sure you follow me on TikTok. See y'all later. Bye.